Hi from the Thoughtful Gardener. It's really fabulous to have you here. If you're new to the channel, we're going to be talking today about the top 10 garden trends that you might want to incorporate into your garden in 2024. The first is called garden edimentals. What that means is edible gardens. I think this is a fabulous trend, not only for you, but for your pollinators. First of all, herbs are very easy to grow. They don't require a lot from you, but they look beautiful, they flower, and they smell delicious. Not only are they fabulous in your recipe, but they look great in a bouquet, and the flowers can be used to help get more pollinators in your garden. A really important tip if you're trying to grow food. Two that I love are borage with the beautiful blue flowers. Not only is it stunning and it's bees' favorite color, but those leaves can be chopped and dropped right in the garden to provide green mulch. In addition, you could put something like pineapple sage if you're a hummingbird lover, because they love it, and that pineapple sage is quite tasty in a summer drink. Naturalistic plantings and the new perennial movement. Well, if you're just learning about native plants, welcome to the channel. We absolutely love native plants around here because we want to be able to grow things not only for you to have less maintenance in your garden, look beautiful, but also to provide habitat for your native pollinators. So the new perennial movement, well, we've been talking about it on this channel for several years now, but I'm thrilled to be seeing these types of gardens even at very famous garden shows like the Chelsea Garden Show last year featured lots of native perennial gardens. It's not a movement, this is here to stay. If your local garden center isn't carrying native plants, ask them to do so or find your local growers. Preserve every drop of rain with an eco-friendly rain garden. I love this idea. Many of us now have issues related to runoff due to all the development that surrounds our properties. One of the ways you can easily mitigate water on your property is to create a rain garden. Not only will it be beautiful when the skies are not, but it will be very helpful to being able to help move the water through your property and keep the water on your property, which will be beneficial to pollinators and wildlife. Learning to love bugs. Well, I hope if you're on this channel, you're here because you do love pollinators, but if not, welcome to the party. We love pollinators around here because if you ate today, think a pollinator. 1 out of 3 bites of food that you eat comes from a pollinator. And these are talking about beneficial bugs in the garden. One of the things we like to do in the Thoughtful Garden is invite in good guys to manage our bad guys because, see, chemicals aren't allowed in the Thoughtful Garden. The reason being is we want to be growing food sustainably, but we also want to be able to be providing habitat that's safe for our pollinators. We're finding out that things like artificial fertilizers actually do damage to how pollinators fly and seed plants. So we want to avoid those at all possible. If you're interested in things like green mulch, lots of really helpful videos right here on this channel for you. We'd love for you to continue to help us by following us, liking the channel, and share with some other thoughtful gardeners that you might know. Adapting and growing with a changing climate. Folks, climate is always changing. That's why it's cold right now here in central Pennsylvania. Not going to make it out of 25 today, but it's also can be very, very hot in the summer. The thing about it is your native plants really don't care. They're from where you live. They're used to your harsh winters, your occasional flooding, and your hot summers. So it doesn't matter, whatever you can throw at it. This is why we want you to go native. It really will help with being able to provide habitat, but also provide less maintenance and frustration for you because it's used to your growing conditions. Creating unique or outdoor spaces. I love this idea. Invite yourself into your garden by creating spaces that are going to be wonderful for gathering or to showcase your hobby. Love wine? Grow a vineyard. Love fruit? Grow an orchard. There's a small, tiny orchard in my backyard. Why? Because I love fresh fruit, but I also want to be able to control the process. The challenge of not knowing your farmers is you don't know what's been used on the fruit and vegetables that you're consuming. And we're finding out that those chemicals can have very serious consequences when it comes to your health. So if you want to control the process, grow your own food. And one of the easiest ways to start is to grow your own fruits and vegetables. Embracing gravel gardens for low maintenance beauty. Well, I think gravel is really pretty in the garden, and lots of rock gardens are something that I get requests for because they seem to be low maintenance. The challenge can be that certainly things can grow up through those rocks. So what are you going to put underneath them to prevent that from happening? I'm not a huge fan of the total rock gardens, but I understand for some of you that is the way to go because ground covers are not going to grow. It's too dry and hot where you are. That's fine. I think gravel gardens are right in the right condition. In this particular case, I think they make very beautiful pathways, but just keep in mind that if you walk on rocks, they're going to sink and you may have to replace them. So you need to think about what you're going to put underneath those rocks to keep them from going away. Preserving gardens in creative ways. Well, I love preserving gardens. One of the most creative ways I saw about preserving the garden this past winter was the Hanover Garden Club in Hanover, Pennsylvania created a tree in one of our mansions that displays trees this time of year. And what I loved about it is they saved flowers from their gardens all season. They taught themselves how to dry them. In some cases, they spray painted them really pretty colors and they made this gorgeous Christmas tree. I think that's a really fun way to preserve your garden. I've done that with allium blooms for years. Once the alliums are done, I've spray painted them and they look really kind of cool and unexpected, whimsical. And I've used them for New Year's Eve arrangements, for example. So be creative and figure out ways to enjoy your garden in other ways. Maybe a tea or two would be a way to enjoy and preserve your garden. Rediscovering the biodiversity of Stumpery gardens. I love this idea. I actually saw a Stumpery garden most recently at a native garden that I traveled to here in Pennsylvania. But Stumpery gardens are a way to preserve gardens that have had to have trees removed. Keep the trees on your property. They create habitat for new plants to arise, but also habitat for your wildlife to hide out in. I think this is a great idea. Last but not least, cultivating garden knowledge at home. Well, I have a course with our friends over at Gardening Know-How. If you're interested in learning about butterflies and how to get more of these jewels in your backyard, join me there on that course. We'll put the link in the comments. But until then, I think it's always a good idea to be a good student. There's lots of things that you could be learning about your garden in the off season, and that's really what I like to do this time of year. Love to buy garden books, love to attend Zooms, love to attend in-person webinars. Lots of those things will be coming up here. You can check our channel out and our website for different things that I'll be participating in where you can join the conversation. Leaving a comment below is the #1 way to spread the word about the channel because it allows the algorithm to know you're interested by continuing the conversation. So if you like what we've put here, leave us a remark. If you don't, tell us what we could do differently and we'll try to incorporate it in the next video. Have a wonderful day and garden thoughtfully. Take care.